really interested to hear a little bit more about this Guardian study. Trish, I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit more, or Britt, do you want to tell us a little bit more about it? 'Cause, it's not often you actually get these kinds of studies in the world of diagnostics, especially in rare disease. I mean, you put all of those together, and it's an unlikely scenario to see these kinds of studies being done. Britt, why don't you maybe
Sure.
start off? Yeah.
Yeah, so the Guardian study is a collaboration that we have at GeneDx with Dr. Wendy Chung at Boston Children's Hospital, as well as Columbia University, the New York Department of Health, and New York Presbyterian Hospital System. So, how it works is basically shortly after birth, the families who are delivering and having babies in the New York Presbyterian Hospital System are offered to participate in the Guardian study, which is a genomic newborn screening study, as I mentioned, for their newborn. And the study is screening for a panel of actionable conditions. And the families can also opt in to screen for a panel of conditions where early treatment and just knowing may help improve the outcomes. But in total, there's over 460 conditions that are being screened for by the Guardian study, compared to the roughly 60 that are being screened across various states in the United States through traditional newborn screening. And I think this is really important because, one of the things I think has been a challenge with traditional newborn screening is that we know that the FDA approvals of orphan drugs in the US for rare diseases has been far outpacing the number of conditions that have been added to the recommended uniform screening panel for traditional newborn screening in the US. And so by doing this genomic sequencing approach, we have the ability to expand greatly the number of conditions that we can test for, and more and more of these are having precision therapies. So some of the key findings we found is that in the babies that we've screened, over 3% of them have a rare disease. And as I already mentioned, many of these would have been on a long diagnostic odyssey. And so it's really showing the power of how we can, identify these babies early, get them on the right treatment at the right time, right? When it has the most chance to really improve the outcomes. One of the cases, really interestingly, that we identified through this study was a baby with severe combined immune deficiency, or SCID, you may have heard of, right? And this is basically where the immune system is non-functional. Now, in the US, we do have SCID newborn screening. I know most provinces in Canada have newborn screening for SCID as well. But interestingly, this baby wasn't identified on the traditional newborn screening because the levels of the tracks, the T cell receptor excision circles that they're looking at was like just above the cutoff. But we were able to identify this baby. And so right away, we could, effectively manage this patient because it's so critical to try to do the bone marrow transplants for these babies before they've ever been exposed to any kind of an infection that greatly improves the healthcare outcomes for these babies. And so we were able to get this baby, well, not we, I mean, our collaborators who are seeing the child were able to get this baby really, for transplant as soon as possible. And we know that completely changed the trajectory of this baby's life because they were identified young and they were missed on the traditional newborn screening.